Okay.
So here we go. Hi, John Zarobell here. I'm speaking with Kim Anno, a Berkeley artist who's been long engaged in questions of art and ecology. I wanted to talk to Kim about some of the experiences that she's been working on, including a conference she organized a couple years ago, and then more recently exhibitions in South Africa. So let's start back with the Art and Ecology Conference, Rising Tides, where I sort of got to know you a little bit because you asked me to come and participate. So what motivated you to do a conference? This was in 2009 spring at California College of Arts in Stanford. So what motivated you to do this conference on art and ecology?
Well, it seemed like suddenly the issues around climate change started to heat up. Like the information started to be everywhere, like in magazines at the grocery store, in the art of the students that were coming through. And I started to think, you know, I gotta show some kind of leadership about this. We have to have some way of digging into what is greenwashing and what is aesthetics and the relationship between ecology and environment and climate change and art, and how do we think about it. It seemed like it was hard to figure out what the criteria was, and then if students were going to be involved in it, forming Students for Sustainability at CCA, that I thought, well, let's look at it in a deep way and let's invite both local, statewide and national speakers and international speakers to come and talk about these issues, the whole relationship of art, culture, design to the environmental movement right now.
And it was really compelling in that way. You know, the point that I made in my talk, in a way, looking back at 19th century art and thinking about the relationship between landscape and, you know, sort of ideologies of power, is that I was talking about the way in which the artist formulated paradigms in some sense, right? They created visual metaphors that allowed people to understand how to relate to their world. And that in that sense, contemporary artists have an incredible possible role to play in helping to frame the issues around ecology and sustainability. One of the things I noticed in your work at the time, you know, you really changed direction significantly, going from a painting career to start making videos and whatnot. So tell us about those changes and how your work shifted.
Well, I think suddenly when you're faced with like total global disaster, you start to think, where am I, who am I, and what am I doing? Like if I still have the verve to kind of do something, to kind of speak a voice, what would I do? And the thing I could do that I had control over was my own work. And I also started to invite interdisciplinary artists into my studio and having public events and having composers interact with video artists and performers, and I started to surround myself with a very different kind of art making than I had done myself. Although when I first began making art when I was young, I started out as a video artist and then moved into being a painter for 20-something years. And so in a way it's kind of cycling back to what my first teachers were, which was at the Feminist Studio Workshop in downtown Los Angeles. I think that I wanted to speak to a bigger audience and a younger audience, and an audience that wasn't just concerned with material wealth or the 1%. And I think that being an artist selling paintings, you're often really tied to the 1%. Those are the people that can purchase your works, and I'm not against that. I mean, I want to be collected and I want to be, you know, continually respected. But on the other hand, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to see how my art could have a different function in society.